Let me take you into some of the districts. This is a site plan that shows the entirety of the project. What's the most important thing about this is that the development along 3rd Street, this is reversed from the view you just saw. Development along 3rd Street is fairly low scale. It's in context with the with the village scale of the existing city of Burbank, so it's only 2 to 3 stories along here, building up to perhaps 3 and 4 over at this corner, adjacent to the high school. The center of the site, this is a mid to high-rise hotel, depending upon the room count. And then this is an entertainment esplanade, a festival marketplace that occurs at a waterfront. And this is the serious retail at that corner. So, from 3rd and Magnolia, walk right into a 2 or 3 story anchor department store.
Can the council see well enough? Because we can see
Okay.
fine.
I can move to the other side.
No, Chris comes from a tremendous acting family, and when he sees a lot of people to this side, he automatically talks to the place of this crowd. They're voting later over here.
They're voting later over here? I've got a couple of things just at the end, okay? This just shows the scale of the office complex and what we've got going here. There's a series of campus spaces, little courtyards and things, and it leads into the Center Media District. I pull back from that. This is a piece of that California Canyon. Now it's all dotted with bridges and little bungalows and things. Joe will take you into all of this. It's delirious. But you imagine now you're working in your office downtown. You can pick up for lunch and walk into a sycamore-lined California Canyon with water flowing through it. This is an old western town. Why did the Golden Mall get its name? Because gold was discovered here, and there's now a movie set of the gold rush town that was developed after it. These are all ordinary shops on the inside, but you can see Jeffrey's got a movie shooting here right now. I don't know if there's enough trailers there. It must be a channel movie, okay? This is a little piece of the lost cities of the back lot. This is the Fantasy Hotel. Something very wonderful happens in this hotel. This is the waterfront district. So you have an esplanade, you look out across the water. There are a lot of key things that normally occur at beachfronts and waterfronts, but we've converted them, made them wonderful and magical in a Disney way. So there's the whole project, the whole site.
And one thing we didn't mention, which Joe will go into, is that the mythology we've created is that the Walt Disney Studios in Burbank kind of lost its unique reason for a back lot. As film became faster and lights became lighter, we now don't have a back lot anymore. This was, as the mythology goes, the original back lot. We've now renovated. We are going to use it as a movie set. So if you have a New York street or this street or that street, not only will be a street for retail shopping, but when we have a movie that's shooting, or MGM does, or anybody does, they will use the New York street or this street or that street. So the whole mythology of the entire project is backlot. And you know, Disney works in story. And in creating the story, that is the story that we wanted to create. So the local residents will know that they may not be able to go on one street this certain day because you're shooting on that street. Now, that won't happen that often, but when it does, it's very exciting. Anyway, sorry.
You got anything left, Joe?
I'll just dance.
I'd like to introduce a colleague, Joe Rohde. He doesn't understand any of this, but I don't understand any of what he'll tell you about.
I presume I'll have to use this microphone as well. First thing I want to do is take this down here, because much of what I'm going to be showing you is detailed shots of what goes on inside here. I want to be able to relate it back to the full-size structure so that you can understand what's going on here.
On October 1st, 1971, Walt Disney World introduced Disney Magic to Florida with the opening of the Magic Kingdom. That was just the beginning. On October 1st, 1982, Epcot Center hailed the dawn of a new Disney era with Future World and World Showcase. Come this spring, Walt Disney World will unveil its third theme park. I mean the biggest project since Epcot Center. The Disney-MGM Studios, bringing you movie magic and excitement unlike anything you've ever seen. The Disney-MGM Studios, really two attractions. One of them is a theme park, the other an actual working studio complete with a back lot. This street, part of the studio theme park, is Hollywood Boulevard circa 1940. And behind me is the incredible replica of the Chinese Theater. Inside these doors is the great movie ride, where you will find yourself in the middle of some of Hollywood's most famous scenes. From encounters with aliens, gangster shootouts, to visits with great old friends. The Great Movie Ride lets you become part of all the magic and excitement of the movie. This is Catastrophe Canyon, where you find yourself in the middle of all the action, from giant explosions to great floods. Oh no, did I say floods? Wasn't that incredible? It was just fantastic. I love that kind of stuff. Who's doing the sound effects around here anyway? Just the right sound effects can make or break a film. At the Disney-MGM Studio Tour, you'll be able to try your hand at creating all those special sounds you hear in films and on TV. Watch out! This is a rough one. Gotta stay alive. Gotta get through this storm somehow. Ah, come on, I fooled you, didn't I? There's no storm. Just some more movie magic. Really genius, isn't it? And that tugboat you thought you saw me in was actually a miniature. Now you can see how all this magic is created at the Special Effects Tank Show. The name Disney has always stood for great classic animation. At the Magic of Disney Animation, you'll see how animated features are created. Did you know that it took over 700 artists and storymen nearly 6 years to create the Disney classic Cinderella? Here you'll see everything from original concept to animators at their drawing table, to pencil tests and into final production. And that's just the start of the excitement. Behind me is the actual working studio where you'll get to see films and TV shows as they're shot. In fact, production is already in full swing as TV shows and movies do their location filming here. Boy, I feel like I never left New York. This is part of the back lot, the New York Street. I'm standing here on Soundstage 2, which is one of 3 sound stages on the Disney-MGM Studios. Inside on overhead catwalks, you'll be able to catch all the action as it takes place. In fact, you'll see behind the scenes on everything it takes to create great movies, including a visit to the world's largest working wardrobe. You'll get a first-hand look at everything that goes into making a great movie or TV show, the sound, the pictures, and the music. So that's what I call a good-looking guy. From Hollywood Boulevard to the New York Street, the magic of animation to the art of costuming, special effects, sound effects, Catastrophe Canyon to the Great Movie Ride. Be a part of it all. The world of movie magic this spring at the new Disney-MGM Studios in Florida.
On May 1st, 1989, Walt Disney World will unveil its 3rd theme park and biggest project since Epcot Center, the new Disney-MGM Studios theme park. Hi, I'm Kathleen Sullivan, the 1989 Walt Disney World Ambassador, here to tell you all about the movie excitement coming to Florida. As you can see, workers are putting finishing touches on what will really be 2 attractions in one. A movie theme park where you'll find yourself in the middle of scenes from some of the most famous movies and TV shows, and an actual working studio. This is the official countdown board that's counting away the days till the curtain goes up and the show begins. Oh, guys, only 35 days left. Better speed things up. Now that's fast. Stay tuned for more excitement and a behind-the-scenes peek at all the upcoming movie fun.
World Happy Easter Parade.
There's so much to see here. It's a great day in the Magic Kingdom in Florida. Lots of parades still coming your way.
Plus a pre-opening look at the fabulous new Disney-MGM Studios theme park, where you will discover a whole day of adventures of Hollywood.
Yes, that opens in just a few weeks. I can't wait to see Joan London and the Meryl Streep story.
And I think actually, look, I think the blimp's got a shot of it. You know, I must admit, I couldn't wait, and I went over there the other night and took a little walk through the area. It was wonderful. But right, that's the shot of the studio I was looking for. Another shot, of course, from the MetLife blimp. Welcome back, everyone, to the Happy Easter Parade live from the Magic Kingdom in Walt Disney World in Orlando, Florida. And right now it is hooray for Hollywood, Walt Disney World style. Hollywood Boulevard, the sound stages, the great movie ride, they are all part of the new Disney-MGM Studios theme park, which will open here at Walt Disney World in just 35 days. Movie magic in our own backyard. And here's Walt Disney World Ambassador Kathleen Sullivan again for a behind-the-scenes look at movie magic.
Thanks, Joan and Alan, and welcome to New York. Looks real, doesn't it? It's all here. Movie magic like you've never seen it before. Don't miss the excitement just 35 days from now. May 1st, 1989, when the new Disney-MGM Studios theme park premieres at Walt Disney World in Florida.
Guests can get a sneak peek at the next movie-making capital of the world, the Disney-MGM Studios, by visiting the Studio Preview Center in the Magic Kingdom.
First came the Magic Kingdom, then the incredible Epcot Center. Now comes the new Disney-MGM Studios theme park. The Disney-MGM Studios theme park at Walt Disney World in Florida.
Tonight, hundreds of your favorite stars will be at the grandest opening in entertainment history, and you're invited. The Disney-MGM Studios theme park grand opening. Then the Bionic Woman and the $6 Million Man join forces with a female cyborg to battle a terrorist Terminator. The all-new Bionic Showdown tonight. Tonight on a special presentation of the magical world of Disney.
The grand opening of the Disney-MGM Studios theme park.
Join James Stewart, Smokey Robinson, Jane Fonda, John Forsythe, Stephanie Powers, Buster Poindexter, Kate Jackson, Dick Van Dyke, Ann Miller, Ashford and Simpson, Suzanne Summers, Kathy Lee Crosby, Tony Randall, Rue McClanahan, Estelle Getty, and more superstars and more famous cars.
This is going to be great.
The Disney-MGM Studios theme park grand opening, a world premiere exclusive next on the magical world of Disney.
Hello, I'm Michael Eisner. In a great tradition of Hollywood, I'd like to welcome you to a major studio sneak preview. Tonight, the Disney-MGM Studios theme park will officially open to the public. But as the final touches are being put on this wonderful new theme park, we're going to give you a glimpse of what all the excitement is about. We're also going to try and give you a sense of what this thing called Hollywood is all about. When we think of movies, we think of entertainment. But the greatest films have done much more than simply entertain. They've enlightened us, inspired us, and helped shape the world in which we live. Each of us has a favorite movie, one that has stuck in our minds and influenced our lives. Mine was Pinocchio. I'll never forget the first time I saw it. It inspired in me a sense of awe and beauty and creative possibilities that have stayed with me all my life. Tonight we're going to talk to some pretty remarkable people about the films that have affected them. I think you'll be fascinated with what they have to say. So sit back and enjoy this sneak preview of the Hollywood we created in Florida. It's not so much a theme park as a state of mind, a Hollywood that never was and will always be.
Welcome to the grand opening of the newest, most fantastic attraction at Walt Disney World, the all-new Disney-MGM Studios theme park, starring in alphabetical order, Harry Anderson, Ashford and Simpson, George Burns, Joy, Monica, and Leanna Creel, Walter Cronkite, Jane Fonda, John Forsythe, Estelle Getty, George S. Irving, Kate Jackson, Rue McClanahan, Ann Miller, Yves Montand, Willie Nelson, Buster Poindexter, the Pointer Sisters, Stephanie Powers, Tony Randall, John Ritter, Smokey Robinson, Mickey Rooney, Suzanne Summers, James Stewart, Dick Van Dyke, and special appearances by Ronald Reagan, Margaret Thatcher, and Lech Walesa.
Join us in a world of daydreams. Join us, leave your cold and gray dreams. Join us, come and see the way dreams come true. Ooh, starlets, striking and dramatic, heroes worthy or fanatic. So join us in our cinematic review. Just for you, all our miracles on display. We've got parts to perform, hearts to warm, all those scenes from silver screens as we go along our way. Are you ready for magic? Hey, hey, hey. Are you ready for magic? Much faster, pageants orchestrated masterfully. Illusions, fantasies to study, battles dangerous or bloody. So join us, sit where everybody can see. We got magic to do, just for you. All our miracles on display. We've got parts to perform, hearts to warm, all those scenes from silver screens as we go along our way. long way.
Are you ready for magic?
A long way.
Are you ready for magic?
We go a long,
Are you ready for magic?
we go a long way.
Are you ready for magic?
Go a long way.
Are you ready for magic?
We go a long,
Are you ready for magic?
we go a long way.
That is the magic of movies. Hi, I'm John Ritter, and I've been sent down here by the Disney people as sort of a special emissary to see that everything's perfect and ready to go before the grand opening of these incredible studios. Can you believe this? I just left Hollywood, California, and here I am in Hollywood, but in Florida. Now, would you look at that? The Chinese Theater. I just entered through the studio gates, and right over here is the old Hollywood Brown Derby restaurant. All these landmarks that mean Hollywood to much of the world, all recreated here at the Disney-MGM Studios theme park in Florida. What they have done is built movie studios that combine business and pleasure. The business of making movies and the pleasure of the public who can watch the movies and television shows as they're being made. To give you an idea of the size, let me put it into perspective. The studio tour and theme park area is 135 acres, making it one of the largest movie lots in America, and that 135 acres fits into Walt Disney World, which is twice the size of Manhattan. We're not talking theme park, we're talking theme country. There's a lot to do before the gala opening, but I think we can get it done. After all, we've got 2 full days.
Excuse me, Mr. Ritter.
Yeah.
I'm on my way to my post, and I overheard you say something about the opening. It's not 2 days. It's less than 2 hours.
2 hours, 2 days, you see, that doesn't faze me because, as the great showman P.T. Barnum once said, less than 2 hours before the grand opening?
I don't remember P.T. Barnum saying that.
Less than 2, it's less than, all right, everybody, we've got to move. It's less than 2 hours. We can't move it. Oh, we have to move, we're on TV. Come on, move it.
Harry Anderson's World of Special Effects, Kate Jackson, and a movie memory from Ronald Reagan when we return.
I like the Sprite in you.
For McDonald's salads, Kathy.
Itchy girl.
And Iron Mike Ditka.
Big ox.
They come from separate worlds.
Fruit Juicers, the first hard roll candy made with real fruit juice.
Now you just learn to tie your shoelaces and you'll be all set.
We now return to the grand opening celebration.
The Mickey Mouse Club is a Disney tradition that started many years ago.
Who's the leader of the club that's made for you and me? M-I-C-K-E-Y-M-O-U-S-E.
Over 25 million kids signed up for a half hour each afternoon after school, and now their kids are the charter members of the all-new Mickey Mouse Club.
is this? Nobody's working. We've got a deadline, and nobody's working. Where is everybody? Come on, people. This is supposed to be called Catastrophe Canyon. I want to see some action. I want to hear some action. I want to feel some action. And now it's raining. This is not good. We're going to be rained out tonight. What is this? Overdone, but effective. Special effective. Look out below! Is there a horn on this bee? Hey, follow that B-52, but be careful or you'll be sorry. What's this? 20,000 Leagues Under the Bee? Hi, I'm Harry Anderson, and this is my friend, the bee. He insisted on being here for the grand opening. I call him Bear. You see, they have this other bee that they call Square. I wasn't sure whether I should ride Be There or Be Square. This is a good demonstration of a beautiful special effect called chroma key. Wherever the camera sees blue, a whole new background can be substituted. And when it's all put together, the final result is movie magic. We're here in the special effects warehouse where they make and store all the special effects props. The mad scientists who work in this place must be out for a late lunch. Wonder what this thing does. Just kidding. What do we have here? Well, this must be what they call the Ronald Ray gun. And over here, look at this beauty. A perfect little model of the Dipmobile from the film Who Framed Roger Rabbit. You know, this room is filled to the rafters with creatures and critters and creepy crawlers. Some made you laugh, some scared you to death. Wow! This place is going nuts! Yeah. You know, all of these props were made for specific motion pictures. And if you weren't afraid to peek, you might have seen some of them.
1939 is generally thought of as a milestone year for films. That was the year that we saw Gone with the Wind, Stagecoach, Wuthering Heights, The Wizard of Oz, Goodbye, Mr. Chips, Of Mice and Men, and Mr. Smith Goes to Washington. An unforgettable year for motion pictures. I saw all of those films and appreciated all of them, but one of them had a great impact on my life. Mr. Smith Goes to Washington. I began to realize, through the power of that motion picture, that one man can make a difference.
John Forsythe, Dick Van Dyke, and the Indiana Jones Epic Stunt Spectacular when we return.
Introducing the official car of the new Disney-MGM Studios theme park in Florida.
Hi, everybody.
Meet the 1990 Lumina from today's Chevrolet.
See you real soon.
Since most of you saw Raiders of the Lost Ark, you know that was Harrison Ford battling that truck, not me. You don't know? Well, let's put it this way. You're right, it wasn't me, but you're wrong. It wasn't Harrison Ford either. It was his double, a stuntman.
You know, there's something so familiar about your voice.
Come on, Angel. Although Sir Harrison Ford does a lot of his own stunts in his pictures, usually when an actor has to do something really hazardous in the course of making a movie, these folks, the stuntmen, take over. You learn how to fall and not hurt yourself. You learn how to stop on a dime and not move. You learn how to wield a mean sword like those folks are doing. They've been rehearsing for some time for their part in this wonderful presentation of Daring Do. And boy, is the training tough. I tell you, ultimately, it's a breathtaking combination of athletic prowess, split-second timing, and rigorous rehearsal.
John, Kate, you gotta get a move on. This park is opening in less than 2 hours, so please, anything you can do, help me. Please, people, we've all got to work together. My fault, sorry, that was... Oh, God. Oh, God. Yeah! We're fine. Just the...
I've heard of working in the sticks, but this is ridiculous.
Hi, I'm Dick Van Dyke. You know, one of the perks you get after being in this business for a little while is when the script calls for an attractive young star, I am given not one, not two, but 3 lovely ladies. They're the stars of Parent Trap 3. These are the Creole triplets. And I'm going to show the girls some of my favorite places around the park. But first, let's find out which is which here.
My name is Joy. Mine's Leanna. My name's Monica.
Hi, I'm Dick Van Dyke. You can call me Mr. Van Dyke.
This place looks exactly like the Chinese theater in Hollywood, even down to the footprints in the cement. I'd love to put my footprints in cement.
You know, there's 2 ways to accomplish that. You can become a famous film star, or you can rat on Big Louie.
Let's see if her feet fit. Pee Wee Herman and I have the same size shoe.
You're lucky. Mine match King Kong's.
Does anyone ever get stuck in this stuff?
Just him. Okay, girls, let's go. I want to show you around the park. This place is called the Looney Bin.
This place is so cool. Look, Joy, this is the Toon Patrol wagon from Who Framed Roger Rabbit. Hey, you guys, come listen to this. Hey, wait, look, here's another one. Hey, listen to this.
Girls, come here. This is my favorite box. You got to hear this. Okay, now listen. You know, I tried a spot remover once. Didn't take the stain out, but my dog disappeared. You know, once there were 2 farmers. Now there's more. Now there's more. That does it. I'm through telling jokes. Everybody's got to be a critic.
Hey, look over here.
Our next stop, the Monster Sound Show. Here's Liana dubbing her own voice for the Cheshire Cat from Alice in Wonderland.
Oh, but you must. She'll be mad about you. Simply mad.
But what I like best is horsing around, supplying all the hoofbeats for the legend of Sleepy Hollow. Joy and her sisters enjoy sharing the fun with some of sound effect wizard Jimmy McDonald's very bizarre contraptions. The Great Movie Ride is one of the highlights of the Disney-MGM Studios theme park. Visitors find themselves right in the middle of the action in such great films as Raiders of the Lost Ark, Alien, and The Wizard of Oz.
I'll get you, my pretty, and your little dog, too.
You know, that movie ride was really great. I'm ready to go again.
You know, that's the special thing about the movies. You can always go back again and relive all those wonderful memories.
When you think about it, movies have a lot to do with the way we live. And what about the way we talk? And the way we dress?
The way we walk.
Wait, the way we walk? Don't you think that's getting just a little carried away?
I guess maybe you're right. Hey, why don't I treat you all to a soda at the Brown Derby?
Okay.
Shall we?
Good evening. I'm Mickey Rooney. Every once in a while, someone will ask me, what movie made the biggest impression on me? Without thinking twice about the question, I always say, Love Finds Andy Hardy. Yes, I was lucky enough to make 17 of those Andy Hardy series, but it was in 1938 that I made that special one with a certain young 16-year-old girl named Judy Garland. Judy had such a magnificent talent. There was a certain vulnerability about this wonderful girl that made you want to take care of her. Audiences fell in love with her, and so did I. That's why my memories are so fond of Love Finds Andy Hardy. Thank you.
Tony Randall, Suzanne Summers, and a movie memory from Margaret Thatcher when we return.
On Quantum Leap, you can find out what it would be like to be someone else.
Oh, boy. Hi, Sam. Ow. I'm a dork. No, you're not. Now I'm black? Play it again, Sam. He's looking at you, kid. And I think I'm starting to enjoy this.
Expose yourself to Quantum Leap.
So am I.
Quantum Leap moves to Wednesdays.
What are you doing for dinner?
This week.
We now return to the grand opening celebration.
Thanks, John, for pulling me out of the cement back there at the Chinese Theater.
Well, I wish I hadn't pulled so hard. Where did you finally land, anyway?
Use the street. I think it was called Dopey Drive, but I'll be fine. Listen, it's only a short while before the official grand opening, so I gotta go do a final check.
All right, see you later.
Just a little lower back pain. I'm okay.
All of the magic of storytelling lives here in this building, the Disney Animation Department. It's been designed to showcase the fascinating process of creating the animated films for which Disney is famous. More than 60 years ago, Mickey Mouse came to life on Walt Disney's drawing board, and since then, Disney and his animators have been the great innovators in the art and science of animation. But it still begins with a story, a soundtrack, and tens of thousands, sometimes hundreds of thousands, of individually hand-drawn pictures. Here in this area, visitors to the park can watch the animation artists at work, and they're a dedicated lot.
What gets me excited about animation really is the fact that you can, sit down at a table and with just a pencil and a piece of paper make something come to life.
I beg your pardon.
The more and more that you can become that character, the more you feel like that character, the better your animation will be.
An animator is an actor. He gets a scene, he has to act it out on paper.
It's just a little while until we swing open the gates on this, the newest attraction at Walt Disney World. And I thought I'd check out my favorite place to be at a movie studio. It's a fascinating area that we call the back lot. This is where there's even more movie magic. For example, this. Now, this could be an ordinary house on an ordinary street anywhere in the USA, but it turns into something special when the stars come out. Stars like Estelle Getty and Rue McClanahan from the Golden Girls.
Hi there, John.
Hi.
Hello.
Whoa.
How about a bath, Herbie? Sit still, Herbie.
How come I can't get my car to do that? And why shouldn't Mickey and Goofy live here? The rent is reasonable, and they're very close to work. These are houses for all seasons. Summer turns to winter just by removing the flowers on the front lawn and adding a heavy snowfall. Well, adding snow flurries anyway. But the most interesting thing about all these houses is that they're just shells. You see, you walk through the front door and there's nothing... Excuse me, I'm very sorry. Up here is more of the back lot. All those great gangster movies of the 30s left us the pawn shops and the diners of New York's Lower East Side, and the brownstone stoops of Manhattan's West Side, right over there. King Kong has left us the Empire State Building, and 42nd Street left us the Chrysler Building, right next door. Crocodile Dundee gifted us with the front entrance of that splendid hotel. You never know what you're going to see around the next corner.
April 30th, 1989, and you are there. Is everyone at a station? Are we ready for the grand opening? Kate, John?
All set, John.
On with the show.
Rue, Estelle.
The welcome mat's laid out. Wipe your feet.
Harry!
All systems go, John.
Dick and the Creel sisters.
We have liftoff, John.
Everything's okay.
Tony Randall.
My area and I are prepared beyond belief.
Okay, I guess we're as ready as we'll ever be. Let's get this show on the road. Magic person, it's all yours.
Riding in the first car of the Parade of Stars are Bette Midler and Michael Eisner. Lauren Bacall seems happy to be here with her children, Leslie and Steve Bogart and Sam Robards. Kevin Costner is here with his family, too. The radiant Cicely Tyson is accompanied by Jack Valenti. Oscar winner Sissy Spacek is riding with her husband and young daughter. Leonard Nimoy and his wife. Mr. and Mrs. Rick Moranis. The lovely, charming Betty White. The director of Star Wars, George Lucas. The very elegant Audrey Hepburn. Harry Anderson riding with his wife. A car full of Mouseketeers joins the parade. That's Keisha Knight Pulliam in the middle there, the youngest star of The Cosby Show. And how better to end the Parade of Stars than the Minnie Mouse Mickey and Minnie in a lovely new dress.
On behalf of the Walt Disney Company, I hereby declare the Disney-MGM Studios theme park open. Let the magic begin.
The Pointer Sisters sing I'm So Excited. You'll be too when you watch this. And the final touch of authenticity for the front of the Chinese theater, immortality in cement. The grand opening celebration will return with George Burns and Willie Nelson.
Every player is a winner.
You know, Blast Back with Mac isn't just about winning great McDonald's food at all-time prices, like a 59-cent Big Mac. It's about dreaming. And if you dream when you pull the sticker on a medium or large or soft drink, you just might win a trip to a place where your dreams come true every day. The Walt Disney World Resort, featuring the spectacular new Disney-MGM Studios theme park.
Play once, play again. 'Cause every time you play, you win. When you flash back with
Now back to the grand opening celebration.
John Ritter speaking to you from the Eiffel Tower here at Walt Disney World, where the opening ceremonies continue for the brand new Disney-MGM Studios theme park. But before we continue, there's something I've always wanted to do. Indulge me, please. Fly, fly, dive! Yes! Thank you. I've always wanted to do that. I need to get that out of my system.
July 17th, 1955, the opening of Disneyland. October 1st, 1971, the opening of Walt Disney World. October 1st, 1982, the opening of Epcot Center. April 15th, 1983, Tokyo Disneyland. And tonight, April 30th, 1989, the Disney-MGM Studios theme park.
Hooray for Hollywood! Hooray for Hollywood! Hollywood! Hooray for Hollywood! That's Hooray Valley, Hooray Hollywood. We're in the office for your young mechanic. Can be a panic with just a good-looking pen. And any barmaid can be a star maid if she dances with or without a pen. Hooray for Hollywood!
Well, you're terrific if you're even good.
Where anyone at all can be an actor. See Mr. Factor, he'd make a monkey look good. Go out and try your luck, it might be Donald Duck. Hooray for Hollywood!
Those backlots of Hollywood, they've done everything they could.
You make a dream come true, especially for you.
A day! What do we go for? Go see a show floor. Down the street we go to see those beautiful days. Temporary place. All days, you don't recall their names.
No sun can shine, it's beautiful. Bring on the line of beautiful games, 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 games. Have fun, beautiful, for beautiful, beautiful I'm singing, just singing in the romance on the sea, where the villain is me. That
Mini Mania May.
I'm so excited.
As we roll out Minnie's many memorable moments with Disney's main mouse.
Who could ask for anything more?
I could. So much for special effects.
See if America's favorite female tune can hold one.
I gave you my heart.
Elton John, Vanna White, Robert Carradine, Suzanne Summers, and the magical world of Disney's Totally Minnie.
It's totally hot.
Next Sunday.
Imagine you're white in a diner when everyone suddenly sees you as a black man.
In the South in 1955, that is dangerous.
You experience prejudice.
He's gone too far.
And rage.
You got so right.
It doesn't end with this, Sheriff.
Well, that's entirely up to you.
Then your family will be forced to pay a terrible price.
What are you waiting for? We don't accept colored hair.
The hell with the law.
Sam, you got to get out of this.
Quantum Leap moves to its new night, Wednesday.
The new Chevy Lumina has the rust protection of two-sided galvanized steel body panels to guard it from the elements, no matter how severe they get. Introducing the 1990 Family Lumina from today's Chevrolet.
Thanks.
Until now, you couldn't get Corvette's rear suspension technology in a family sedan. But today, there's the 1990 Family Lumina from today's Chevrolet.
Amid our celebration, we pause to remember a star among stars. Lucille Ball taught the world that to be in love with Lucy was to be in love with life itself. We will miss her.
For almost a year, television shows like the Mickey Mouse Club, Win, Lose, or Draw, and many features for the Disney Channel have been under production here. Today, with the opening of the theme park, visitors can visit the sound stages where the actual filming is in progress.
I think for our audience to be able to share and touch that experience is what makes this truly unique. There is no other place like it in concept or design or experience for our guests.
Jeff Kratzenberg, chairman of the Walt Disney Studios, says the park is designed not to interfere with actual production, but enhance a visitor's understanding of TV and filmmaking. Then, once they know the tricks, it's up to the audience to make them work. For example, in the Monster Sound Show, 4 people are selected to match 500 sound effects to a movie clip.
Whoops. People don't get a chance to see this sort of thing. You never really think about sound in a picture. It's something kind of take for granted, and I think when they come to our show, they'll see that it's a lot of work. It's a tough job putting in sound, and if it's done right, you don't notice it. If it's not done right, it sticks out like a sore thumb.
Superstar Television uses today's electronic technology to put people into some of the best TV shows of all times. Audience members are scanned by a casting director, and those discovered win a part on a classic I Love Lucy episode. Or can make believe they're on with Johnny Carson cracking jokes.
You know, Johnny, I'm no musician.
There is adventure in the epic stunt theater and danger at Catastrophe Canyon. The Great Movie Ride is like holding a visitor's pass to some of the most famous film settings, from Raiders of the Lost Ark to the Emerald City from The Wizard of Oz. Palmline Hollywood Boulevard is a guest yellow brick road to adventure. Built like a giant movie set straight out of the fabulous 30s and 40s, it's a montage of streamlined modern architecture, chromed Art Deco, and gaudy neon. And you're likely to encounter stargazing street characters, as did Florida's normally unflappable governor.
Oh, Deco de la Rue! Let me say on behalf of the dozens of my readers every week.
He was here Saturday for the corporate dedication of the park. And although there was some fanfare then, Disney pulled out all the stops and brought in all the stars for today's public opening. Bob Hope, Steve Allen, Maury Amsterdam, and everyone's favorite Mouseketeer, Annette Funicello, were just some of the stars on hand. Having made their careers mugging for the cameras, the cast of stars treated paparazzi to an impromptu song with their favorite star.
I think without really being in Hollywood, this is about as close as you're going to come. It's pretty real. It's pretty right on.
there was a Hollywood that was in the glamorous imagination of the American people, which was never precisely the same as the reality, and it's remarkably well recreated here.
This summer at the Magic Kingdom, Mickey's Starland. At Epcot Center, it's Captain EO in 3D, the exciting Body Wars ride, the fury of the Maelstrom, and now the Disney-MGM Studios theme park with Star Tours. The Indiana Jones Stunt Spectacular, and the Muppets. The Walt Disney World Resort in Florida. What a year to be here.
Lines to the backlot tour quickly stretched into other areas of the park, and that sent crowd control experts into a frenzy. Using trash cans for posts, they roped off a new queue line. Then the same thing happened at the entrance to the Great Movie Ride.
It's an hour from right here?
Guesstimate.
Yeah.
We're sending cards through, and then once they get through, they'll tell us.
And despite humid conditions, visitors kept up the excitement a Disney World vacation creates, and we're all smiles.
And then the backstage one.
There's an hour wait at the moment, so
we're doing this one
we're doing this one first.
But it's an hour from here, too.
Is it?
Well, we don't mind the wait. We don't mind the wait.
After all, what's just 1 hour? Many of these people had waited since 2 a.m. in hopes of becoming the first guest of the park. Joined by Bob Hope, Disney Chairman Michael Eisner scanned the crowd before fixing on the Gutierrez family from York, Pennsylvania.
I think we got a good family here, right here.
Then with a marching band playing Hooray for Hollywood, underscoring the movie theme at the heart of this new attraction, they paraded arm in arm down the center of Hollywood Boulevard. Disney Studio Theme Park is more than just a few rides and cleverly decorated buildings. It is an actual working studio designed to accommodate visitors who can watch movies and TV programs being made and learn how Hollywood's illusions are created. Many in the movie industry are calling this the Hollywood of the East, which it may well be one day. Disney officials say it's not so much a place on the map, rather it's a state of mind where dreams and imagination can come true.
The 1990 Family Lumina comes with a warranty that covers everything, bumper to bumper. Introducing the Family Lumina from today's Chevrolet.
Pleasure Island is unlike any other island you've ever visited. This is an oasis of 7 nightclubs, restaurants, and stores. These aren't your average establishments. Welcome to clubbing Disney style.
This is the Adventures Club.
Here you're surrounded by authentic 1930s paraphernalia and are treated to unique experiences like a mask room. Down the street, there's the Zephyr Rock and Roller Drome, where you'll find live bands, food and drink, and a roller skating rink. Is this direct competition to Church Street Station?
No, I don't think Disney ever thinks about competing with anybody.
An army of workers is sprucing Pleasure Island up for tonight's extravaganza, but most of the public won't get to come to the island till mid-May. If Pleasure Island becomes a success, and Disney believes it will, you may see more of these complexes throughout the country. Wendy Chioji, News Center 2, Pleasure Island.
This is the Disney-MGM Studios theme park at Walt Disney World in Florida. Now, these people have come here by planes, trains, automobiles, and monorails, and they're about to have the feeling they're not in Kansas anymore. Hi, I'm Fred Newman, and I'm going to show you what makes this place different than anything you've ever experienced. Here, the magic of the movies comes to life right before your eyes, and it all begins just inside this gate.
It looked like my kind of joint. The Art Deco architecture and the Hollywood landmarks made me feel at home. But still, I had questions. Who built this place and why? Maybe she had the answers. Lucky for me, she was all ears.
In 1971, Walt Disney World opened its gates. 1982 gave the world Epcot Center. And with the 1989 premiere of the Disney-MGM Studios theme park, the Disney company unveiled yet another masterpiece of imagination on the huge canvas of its Central Florida property.
I think you get a double whammy if you shift them out a couple feet. Yeah, with the patch about that, so we need to get a height on that and see if there's any trees that would do that. 6 months ago, I walked through this place when it was still dirt and things were just coming out of the ground, and we were in the midst of all the working drawings and all the budget compromises and all the things that you go through. And I took a trip up to the Magic Kingdom and walked through the hub area of the Magic Kingdom. And when you look at the hub area of the Magic Kingdom and the castle and all the architecture and everything, it's a scary thing because you know that the precedent that's been set here and at Disneyland is extremely high. It's extraordinarily high. And so the weight that you suddenly feel is you've got to be as good as that or you're disappointing the whole reputation that Disney has.
What used to be 60 to 70-hour weeks have grown to 80, 90, 100-hour weeks as we try and do all of the finishing touches. We try and make sure that everything is perfect. I don't think you can work this kind of job and not be proud of what you're going to do and not take a great deal of enjoyment from it as well, to realize what you're doing that 5 million guests a year from now and forever are going to enjoy.
It's a working movie studio open to the public. It's a theme park built in the best traditions of Disney entertainment. It's a happy mixture of old Hollywood and new technology. And wherever you look, there's evidence of someone's good idea come to life.
It's theatrical, it's fun, it's entertaining, it's everything that Disney stands for. It's got a little bit of me in it, it's got a little bit of all of our new executives in the company, plus a lot of everybody that's been here. I don't think anybody else has the resources to attack quality the way we do. Most people take shortcuts for either economic reasons or because they're lazy. You know, most people take shortcuts because they just don't know how to do it right. And this company has such a history of not taking that shortcut, going down the path that is the hardest, the toughest, the most painful, and the most expensive to gain a quality that's fun to be around.
It is the equivalent of Disneyland's and the Magic Kingdom's Main Street, a fantastic thoroughfare that lets you know immediately you've crossed over into another place in another time.
It's pretty exciting looking at all the different architectural work that's around. And you get to see a part of Hollywood. If you don't go to California, you can see it in Disney World.
It's incredible. Nothing like this in Ohio.
There wasn't anything like it in Florida either. This is how the site looked in April of 1987. The only thing that distinguished Hollywood Boulevard was the crater that would become Echo Lake. Then came the armies of men and machines.
Construction I would characterize as war. Everything's happening at once, and the only way that you can control an operation like that is with a lot of sort of military organized skill, and that's what happens during the initial process of construction.
The Hollywood Boulevard that Disney Imagineers created was an idealized avenue, dominated by the energetic architectural styles of the 20s and 30s. They studied the Art Deco buildings of Hollywood. Some have been restored, some have suffered through years of careless modification. Some are hidden or overshadowed by the urban sprawl around them.
We would go down to Hollywood and just drive all over the place and look at neighborhoods where the studios were located. If there's anything that's characteristic about it, it's that optimism and exuberance and the bright sunshine and the orange trees and the palm trees and things like that.
There's some facades here which do not have any real equal on the outside world. They're inspired by the period. Again, the research was so well done that the designers understood the period so well that they could replicate these facades as if they were back in the 20s and 30s.
Min and Bill's Dockside Diner and Gertie the Dinosaur paid tribute to another type of Southern California architecture, California Crazy, characterized in Los Angeles by food stands shaped like giant hot dogs and donuts. And Hollywood's Crossroads of the World was the inspiration for the 5.5-story Crossroads Mickey at the park's entrance. Longtime Disney sculptor Perry Russ fashioned this Mickey as he appeared in the 1930s, with one slight difference. Mickey's right ear is copper because at 55 feet above the ground, it's the highest point at that end of the boulevard and therefore has to double as a lightning rod. Without a doubt, the grandest and most ornate building on Hollywood Boulevard is the Chinese Theater.
It's our castle at the end of Main Street. In our case, Main Street is Hollywood Boulevard. And the castle is a Chinese theater that was built in the late 1920s in Hollywood.
As the home of the Great Movie Ride, this Chinese theater differed in construction from its predecessor in that its roof was built separately from the building and hoisted into place.
That was a very exciting time for us as we had to maneuver a very large structure that it is, weighing 22 tons, maneuver it around inside the courtyard, which was already crowded with this large 150-foot crane that had to lift it into place. It sits within a half inch of where we expected it to sit, and that's not too bad considering the size and weight of the thing. It's not something that's easily worked with.
Architect Brock Tomlin spent 2 years studying the original Chinese theater in Hollywood to ensure that the Disney-MGM Studios version would become a faithful reproduction.
We've photographed this extensively, and various artisans and craftsmen are reproducing this, and we'll have the doors just like they are here. One of the pieces that we've spent a lot of time and effort to reproduce are these Chinese foo dogs that are actually carved out of stone, and we have sent photographs of these to vendors in China, and they are carving some to match these exactly. Many, many man-hours by many, many people have been spent checking into the historical background of this building and trying to make it as authentic as we can.
Another part of the original Chinese theater, perhaps the most famous part, required more than cloning. That's the forecourt, where since 1927, Hollywood's greatest names have left their foot and handprints. The Disney-MGM version? Bring the stars to Florida and do it all over again.
All right? Okay. All right. All right, here we go.
This world-famous Hollywood tradition found new life at the new Chinese Theater.
I found evidence that implicated many well-known citizens in the conspiracy to construct the park.
Yeah, the prints were everywhere. And the trail led right here to the Chinese Theater, where I got taken for a ride, the Great Movie Ride.
On opening day, thousands of guests witnessed the opening of the Great Movie Ride at the entrance to the Chinese Theater. They would soon be among the first to experience the signature attraction at the new theme park.
Killed my sister. Was it you?
The Great Movie Ride is a spectacular tour through the greatest scenes of some of the most beloved American movies ever made.
That's a mighty tough territory you're heading into, Pilgrim.
The legendary stars, action, and dialogue of Hollywood classics are immortalized through state-of-the-art Disney audio animatronics.
I'll get you, my pretty, and your little dog, too.
But the road to this Oz was a long one. It started 4 years earlier in Los Angeles at the conception of the Disney-MGM.
The Great Movie Ride was the first concept that came out of our initial thoughts on what we would want to do with this project.
The concept led to preliminary drawings and models, which led to the creation of the sets. Clay sculptures led to creation of the molded plastic audio animatronic figures. Artists created huge scenic backdrops to support the illusion beyond the sets. Then, all the scene elements were tested for effectiveness in Los Angeles by groups of company employees.
First tram starts coming in when the music that you're going to hear starts, and it stops. And then the second tram is coming in, and they all are here when the witch appears. And then, as the Munchkins tell you to get out, everybody leaves. So.
Finally, All the great movie ride props, figures, and backdrops were crated and shipped cross-country to Orlando, where they took their meticulously pre-planned places in the 90,000 square foot Chinese theater building. Supervision of the colossal project rested on the shoulders of show producer Eric Jacobson.
I felt like a blind person feeling my way through this because there's so many things that I've had to act on intuition through, but I've received such tremendous support from all the people that have their expertise or these other technical areas that I don't know very much about. That's the neat thing about this organization, is everybody helping everybody else.
Another key player in the great movie ride team was computer programmer Doug Griffith.
He's been animating the audio animatronic figures through a series of computers and controls that brings them to life. And he's actually responsible for being sort of the acting coach for our stars and our assorted cast members.
I did look at films and try to get a feeling of what that person's personality was, pick up on little gestures that they did. From there, I would take that and try to do those in my program.
One of Doug's best performances was his programming of the witch from The Wizard of Oz.
Margaret Hamilton, playing the Wicked Witch of the West in this show, is one of the most technically advanced audio animatronic figures that we've built.
It could move much faster and stay more stable. Plus, it's a figure that has the most movement.
There's a bank robbery which is staged with audio animatronic figures and a live actor portraying a bank robber. And this is one of those where reality and fantasy kind of mix.
Hey, get down! The bank's gonna
And the bank robber, in a very melodramatic and also a little tongue-in-cheek style, takes our tram and us with it to make his escape out of the town.
Action!
This fully equipped studio complex can accommodate everything from major stunts to major stars. In June of 1988, the new studio was dedicated, and Hollywood came to Florida in a big way.
We've created a state-of-the-art motion picture and television studio that rivals anything in Hollywood. And with that kind of support structure, anyone can come down here and make a movie or a television product competitively with Hollywood.
Cut, Greg. Perfect.
The new studio offers one-stop shopping for filmmakers. It has the world's largest costume department, an animation studio, a videotape facility, and much more.
We've got over 200,000 square feet of shops, for instance, and they can build anything from a full-fledged monorail or a steamboat down to a hand prop. We've got a 200-acre tree farm that substantially outdistances most greens departments. We can cater, we can transport, we can house, and we claim that equals the best studio in the world.
Now this is Soundstage 3, the new home of the Mickey Mouse Club. It's one of the stops on the backstage tour. Let's go in the back door.
It's an updated version of the show that put Disney television on the map in the early 1950s. Just as their predecessors did, these Mouseketeers reflect the style and attitude of their times. They've come from all over America to join the jamboree that's happening on Stage 3. 12 young people who are as talented as any you'll ever see.
Supposed to do the multiplying first.
They're the members of Disney's new Mickey Mouse Club. Of course, that doesn't get them out of doing homework. They take a full load of classes to keep on track academically. And when they're not hitting the books, chances are they're memorizing a script, learning a new dance step, or the lyrics to a new song.
There's no place where you can hide.
Their intensive schedule meant that the cast got to know one another in a hurry. Turns out they have more than mouse ears in common.
But we all get along so well because mainly we have the same interests and we have a lot to talk about, you know, and it's just so easy.
I really would like to get into owning my own business, but if this progresses and really goes, I'll probably stay with this for a while. I like this pretty much. This seems pretty fun.
The world would be a much better place. Boy, please.
The new Mouseketeers were selected from over 5,000 hopefuls who auditioned around the country prior to the park's opening. By the time the park opened, the show was in full production and instantly became a hot stop along the backstage tour. The Mouseketeers keep Stage 3 jumping with guidance from adult co-hosts Moeva Pryor and that model of responsible behavior, Fred Newman.
Waiters brought the check. Nice door. Hey, you rang, ma'am?
See you real soon.
Why? Because we like you.
The names and faces may have changed, but the song remains the same.
You know, I love that guy with the white hair.
Some attractions, for instance, are designed to bring out the hot dog in people.
Now, behind me is the Monster Sound Show. It's basically about sound effects.
The new Chevy Lumina's 4-wide swing outdoors and the most passenger room in its class make it easy to get into. Very easy. Introducing the 1990 Family Lumina from today's Chevrolet.
Hooray for Disney World, that crazy ballyhooey Disney World. Our movies are magic, our cameras are rolling, the stars, they're gonna be here. And any man or child can take the stage. It doesn't matter what your age, hooray for Disney World and our Disney-MGM Studios, where any one of you from near and far could be a star. Come on and have some fun. Disney World is #1. Hooray for Disney World. There's movie magic right in Disney World. They come from chili copies and paducas to catch the excitement and get their name up in lights. Mommies and daddies, all the young kiddies, movie magic is such a wonderful sight. Hooray for Disney World. You'll see the greatest stars of yesterday. And if you think that you can be an actor, you'll be an actor. You won't have to wait. The Disney-MGM Studios are gonna be great.
We welcome you to a Hollywood that never was and always will be.
The Disney-MGM Studios theme park. The dream comes true. A behind-the-scenes look at the magic of special effects, Disney's newest cast of characters, and a ride that goes beyond any Disney's done yet, into the middle of the movies. That and more coming up in the next hour.
I think Walt Disney wanted to do a tour of a motion picture facility before he did Disneyland. And I've gone through our archives and I've seen stuff that Walt Disney drew for the studio tour in Burbank. And he was going to use part of Griffith Park and the monorail and all those things that he was working on for the studio tour in Burbank went to Anaheim as part of Disneyland. So we're really bringing back to this country the first idea of Walt Disney, which was to make the making of motion pictures interesting for a guest to see.
When Michael Eisner and Frank Wells arrived on the scene in 1984, they greeted Walt's unrealized dream with open ears and some magic visions of their own.
What really happened, if you look at the historical thread in the company of the studio tour, was this 40-year-old idea, and then later Walt's fulfillment of the ultimate idea of a total world, of Walt Disney World, and all the, the 28,000 acres it's composed to. what he was up against in Anaheim, where the company can only afford the limited amount to just build the Magic Kingdom. Bringing that down here, starting out with another Magic Kingdom, Walt's vision of the future with Epcot Center, and still so much land and such a fulfillment of a legacy to go, that it was the most natural thing in the world to turn to this idea that had been laying there on the shelves for all those years, that also matched up with our new aggressiveness in making films, and out came the studio tour.
Out came the decision for a studios tour, and in came a core of Walt's legacy, Imagineers.
Initially, there was a group of about 10 concept people that I led in California in just coming up with the ideas. The initial ideas for the Great Movie Ride came out of those sessions, the initial ideas for the television theater, ideas about specially designing a studio so that you wouldn't have a closed set. You'd have the opportunity to look through every aspect of production.
Throughout the conceptual phase, ideas kept flowing, and the project kept growing.
Not a lot of people know this, but when we first got the idea, it was to build a smaller studio tour as just another attraction at Epcot Center. And we looked at it, and I can remember Michael saying, it's fantastic, there's just one thing that's wrong with it. That's too small.
Well, I think the one thing where we're really fortunate today, Michael Eisner, who is our Chief Executive Officer, and Frank Wells, our Chief Operating Officer, they're really willing to step up and really go forward with a lot of exciting ideas. And yeah, it was gutsy, but so was Disneyland in 1955, so was Walt Disney World in 1971, so was Tokyo Disneyland in 1982.
We started out here with a relatively small park that was going to be a half-a-day experience for guests and was going to be a kind of a fun, small complement to the other two parks. And each time Michael came over to WED to look at it, he added another attraction, or he added another idea, or we were foolish enough to come up with another idea, and he always liked it. And as a result, what we ended up with was a park that's much bigger than I think any of us envisioned at the beginning.
Michael's relentless enthusiasm saw the original 10 Imagineers grow to 60 in number. And before the official groundbreaking ceremony took place in 1986, engineers, architects, color specialists, entertainment experts, a cast of hundreds had sleeves rolled up, pencils sharpened, and imaginations in high gear. And construction of the vast new Disney-MGM Studios theme park was officially underway. The Earful Tower earmarked the site with a 32,000-pound Mouseketeer hat measuring 28.5 feet in diameter. Human hat size, 342 3/8.
Construction I would characterize as war. You have a huge amount of logistics of materials that are moving in. In the case of this project, there are 28 individual buildings in the project. For a large percentage of the construction period, every one of those buildings has been under construction at the same time. Everything's happening at once, and the only way that you can control an operation like that is with a lot of sort of military organized skill. I would guess that there's about 900 people working here. The individual building contractors, their subcontractors, Disney people that are from Imagineering. So it's a very, almost a fine art process that's superimposed onto this really rigid military construction process. And that, I think, is what makes the Disney project.
You never know who you'll meet here on Hollywood Boulevard. Maybe I'll be a star.
We've really tried to recreate, I think, the glamour and excitement of Hollywood, and actually what we've probably done is we've created a Hollywood that never existed. It's better than probably Hollywood was. It certainly is better than a lot of Hollywood is now. But it's to fulfill our image of what Hollywood in its golden age, whenever you want to select that period, was.
Art Deco and California crazy structures on Hollywood Boulevard are a humorous testament to the times, but their design and development was no laughing matter. A tremendous amount of thought was at the foundation of every zany building.
Certainly,
if the Disney company wanted to build a dinosaur that looked realistic, we could do so. But again, the feeling, you have to capture the feeling for 1940s Hollywood, and I think that's going to work very well.
The Brown Derby is probably the most famous restaurant in Hollywood and is really tied to the glamour period of Hollywood. So there we went back to the source and created in detail the Brown Derby from Hollywood and Vine. And it will have the caricatures of the stars and a lot of the props and light fixtures and things that are part of the original restaurant. Then other restaurants like behind me, the Prime Time Cafe, we invented that concept. What we wanted to do there was pay homage to classic situation comedies from the 50s. And so what we've created are a series of 1950s kitchens that you eat in, and all the waitresses will be dressed like moms from those shows. And throughout the restaurant we have TV monitors where you'll be able to see clips from a lot of those classic shows.
It takes attention to all the little ingredients, all the little things, and the props and the pieces that form the entire form that you're looking at. And without attention to those details, without maybe being able to point your finger at it, you will know that something isn't quite right.
When you combine phenomenal new technologies with traditional Disney and put guests on the stage, the outcome is amazing. For example, Superstar Television has members of the audience on the screen rubbing elbows with Lucy, tossing cream pies with the Three Stooges, fielding pitches with Sam Malone on the set of Cheers, and the entire 30-minute show leaves you wondering, how'd they do that?
What's nice about it is that the audience gets to become active, gets a step in front of the cameras. And this is like a rare opportunity for anybody. I mean, people work their whole lives to become actors and get up on stage and hear the cheers of the crowd. We're going to, in 2 minutes, you're going to be up on stage and you're going to be a star.
I'm so sorry. What can we do for you, officer?
I'm Detective Mullins, and this is my partner, Bobby Hopkins.
What was your least favorite picture that you did, and then maybe after you did it, said, maybe I shouldn't have done it? Was there one?
No, as long as they pay me, I'm pretty happy.
The Monster Sound Show is an outstanding example of what the new Disney technology can do with audio. It has audience volunteers actually laying in the sound effects to a squeaking, creaking, crashing horror flick. And the outcome generally leaves the audience howling.
Whoops.
You never really think about sound in a picture. It's something you kind of take for granted, and I think when they come to our show, they'll see that it's a lot of work. It's a tough job putting in sound, and if it's done right, you don't notice it. If it's not done right, it sticks out like a sore thumb. I don't know. I think people are basically hams, especially when they come to our park. They'll get a sense of audience participation in all of our shows. And they're shy at first, but once you pick them and you get them up on stage, it's amazing. They come to life. If they get it right, it doesn't work as well. When the door knocker goes off and people miss it by a few seconds, it always gets a big laugh because it's just out of the ordinary. If people hit it and it's on the mark, you don't think anything of it. But they don't get it too often. But that's part of the fun of it. One picture's worth about 6,000 sounds in our show.
Sound plays a major role just about everywhere you go in the new Disney-MGM Studios theme park. It's come a long way since Jimmy McDonald was doing the voice of Mickey and making up the effects as he went along.
Mickey would go down here and try to start his old car, and it would be... Then I'd take it away with half the trombone going... The damn thing would stop. Then you have to go again. And it would go on and on. But with that, we'd add the syrup picture. So after this, then this would be added. That was a little six-cylinder. All of this stuff going at the same time, making Mickey's car. No wonder Minnie didn't want to marry him. Go out riding in that thing every Sunday.
Quite a stunt. Sound isn't the only wizardry that went into the making of the 2,000-seat Indiana Jones epic stunt spectacular. It took a team of 25 designers to come up with this one, and building it was a seemingly impossible feat in itself.
Well, it's like a stage play. It's like a play or some kind of a regular show that's put on. I enjoy it. It's different, completely different from anything I've done before. I think we're going to make it a little bit more realistic and make it more so that you understand how stunts are done.
Well, it's really a stunt show that we're doing under a roof but outside, so all the sets have to be able to operate like a regular indoor theater set, but also be able to withstand hurricanes, rain, thunder, whatever. Yeah. And on top of that, we have a lot of very ambitious stunts with gas flames, big explosions, very violent physical crashes and things like that.
The variety of people that we need for this show, we need actors that could do stunts, and we needed stunt people that could act. We selected some people from the circus, and we selected people from the dance field, and put them into an extensive training program. I find it very exciting. I think our only problem is we don't have enough seats in the grandstand to take care of the people.
It took me back to childhood and made me remember how wonderful it is to have the freedom to live fantasy.
The enormously creative thing that our Walt Disney Imagineers have in effect done that is very subtle is that the line is actually blurred between the tour and between the production. You're going to be so absorbed in this, you're going to be so entertained by it that you're not going to stop and say, this is tour and this is production.
From the top, it all looks like one big happy Mickey face. But the truth is, there are two sides to the Disney-MGM Studios theme park. One is all fun and fantasy, shows, rides, and adventures. The other is the reality of movies in the making.
Dateline, Walt Disney World. The night of April 7th exploded with a new look for Pleasure Island, the nighttime hotspot of the Disney Kingdom.
Now every night is New Year's Eve at Pleasure Island.
That's right. Whether it's December 31st or July 1st, guests can count down to midnight every night with a New Year's street party celebration.
3, 2, 1.
It's great. Fantastic. This is terrific. New Year's in April. I think it's marvelous.
This celebration kicked off with music from hot groups like Tone Loc, Expose, and Paul Revere and the Raiders. So now New Year's could be any time.
I celebrate it every night of the year, so this is not uncommon for me.
Disney knows how to throw a party.
You can expect the unexpected. Anything can happen on a Pleasure Island night.
For music, dining, and dancing, Pleasure Island's the place to be. Yeah.
Welcome to TGI McScratchies, where it's constantly New Year's Eve. Here we go again. 3, 2, 1.
It must be wonderful to ring in the new year over and over and over.
Please kill me. And we'll show you why Disney World's not just for kids, it's also for lovers. All on USA Today.
You're looking down Main Street of the latest attraction at Disney World, the Disney-MGM Studios theme park. It's a recreation of the Hollywood of yesteryear, complete with memorabilia shops and restaurants like the Hollywood Brown Derby. And this is the Theater of the Stars, an exact replica of the Hollywood Bowl.
My grandma and your grandma sitting by the fire. My grandma Sunny.
The Disney-MGM Studios. Lights. Camera. Action. It's the world's premier movie attraction, the Disney-MGM Studios theme park in Florida.
Hi, I'm Carol Burnett.
And I'm Tom Selleck.
Welcome to the newest of the Disney Studios. A little bit of Hollywood right here in sunny Florida.
But while we're here today in Florida, our story really begins in California way back in 1923, the golden age of Hollywood, when movie stars were born overnight and studios were popping up everywhere.
And yet, a talented young newcomer to the scene couldn't find a job at any of the studios. So you know what he did? He decided to start his own studio. It seemed only natural to build an East Coast counterpart to the busy Burbank lot. Here at Walt Disney World, the public could finally get that behind-the-scenes tour Walt Disney had envisioned for his studio some 40 years ago.
So, on behalf of Carol and myself and the entire Walt Disney Company, welcome to the Disney-MGM Studios.
And enjoy your tour!
The Muppets have arrived at the Disney-MGM Studios theme park. Meet Kermit, Fozzie Bear, Miss Piggy, and all your Muppet favorites as they come to permanently leave their mark in this spectacular world of glitz and glamour. Hey, everybody, it's time to do the show.
Sorry, what?
Here come the Muppets, only at the Disney-MGM Studios theme park.
The Mickey Mouse Club is videotaped before a live audience at the Disney-MGM Studios in Lake Buena Vista, Florida. For ticket information, drop us a card. Send your cards to the Mickey Mouse Club, Disney-MGM Studios, P.O. Box 10200, Lake Buena Vista, Florida 32830.